Forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is healing, especially forgiving self. Wellness morning to all from Building Spiritual Muscles, a subsidiary of Human Empowerment Cell of Jivan Charge. We welcome you all to our day 7 of our 10-day ongoing series on Laws of Universe Level 3. Forgiveness and generosity, two very important tools to implement the laws, will be looked into by our spiritual healer and life coach, Vindri Kaurji. Let's get started. What is there an issue with your audio? If there's an issue with the audio, you can leave and rejoin. Let's bear with the network issues and the glitches that we are facing.
Yes,
thank you for exhibiting. Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for exhibiting Rabbi Good. Yes, Puaji, please continue.
Yes. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sat Shri Akal, good morning to all and evening to the overseas. Ram Ram Ji. I'm sorry, very, very sorry. There's a lot of problem going on. Trying our patience. Yes, it's trying our patience. So today we start with the 13 and 14 law, and that is forgiveness and generosity. Very, very important law, which we have always done. बहुत बारी किया हुआ है. And this is a very important sub-law. This is a tool. Now, this forgiveness energy is where? Where is this energy? It is inside us. What is the meaning of forgiveness? What does it say? So that means forgiveness is being non-judgment, letting go of judgment. Usually we are keeping on judging. उसने ये क्यों किया? उसने ये क्यों किया? उसको ऐसे करना चाहिए था. When we are doing the work of forgiveness using this tool, we first let go of judgment. We let go of resentment. Or we are not playing a game against anyone. It is going to be unconditional love. Forgiveness is unconditional love. And this unconditional love that we have for others when we are forgiving and become non-judgmental, no resentment, this energy is so high that it goes and the negative karmas, that negative energies, we are released from it. Because when we have to learn to forgive, that time we are carrying a lot of resentment. We are carrying a lot of hurt with us. So when we are learning to pick up this tool of forgiveness, is the time when we are actually becoming non-judgmental, releasing our resentment and giving unconditional love, letting go. This energy is so positive that it changes our negative karma and it frees us, frees ourselves and from others. Otherwise, we are always कहते हैं ना, हम बंधनों में बंधे हुए हैं. किस चीज में? उसने ऐसे बोला वैसे, with all the negative people and the negative energy. Forgiveness breaks this, the chain that we are connected to someone. It let go. It is a principal decision to give up your justified right. If we do not forgive, so what are we always justifying? उसने ऐसे किया तो मेरे को ऐसे करना चाहिए. We have a lot of excuses, So we are always justifying ourselves. So this is when we are learning to forgive and pick up this tool of forgiveness, we are forgiving. We are just letting go our justification. Excuses, we just let go. Even we have revenge at times. We also forego those revenges because we are picking up the tool of forgiveness. That means forgiveness is such an important tool because this is a very, very high energy. And this high energy is, what does it do? It actually helps us, to free ourselves. It's not for the others, but we always free ourselves from it. So now we come on to the next slide. What does this slide say? Is forgiveness a spiritual law? Is this a spiritual law? Yes, it is. It is a spiritual law. In every shastras, in every religion, forgiveness is very, very important. This is spiritual law. It brings up our self-esteem. When we don't forgive anyone, so what happens usually? We are trying to attach ourselves to those negative energies and we bring down our self-esteem, fit for nothing. But when we learn to forgive, we increase our self-esteem. And this is a main pillar. Forgiveness is the main pillar in every religion. Every religion, main pillar is forgiveness. It is a powerful way of life that builds a bridge between finite and self. What happens when we are forgiving? Who forgives? वो जो हमारा मन है, वो जो मन है, when it learns to forget, it has to create a bridge between the identity. What is the identity? The identity is our mantu jo swarup hai, the oneness, infinite nature that is inside us. That there's a bridge connected. We are connected to the oneness. Otherwise, you cannot forgive. Because forgiveness is the quality of the oneness, is a quality of our identity. So when we forgive, we create a bridge. We create a bridge, a connection with the oneness. Now, what is the spiritual concept of forgiveness? What is the spiritual concept of forgiveness? Forgiveness also means forgiving yourself. Until you don't forgive yourself, you cannot forgive anyone. We've already done in the other laws that forgiveness, whatever energy you give, you have to first apply it on yourself. Charity starts at home. So forgiveness also means forgiving yourself and that feeling of sadness and remorse about your own behavior. Because when we are forgiving, concepts are clear, knowledge is there, then we feel bad. We feel bad. Oh, it's because of me, because I am the cause. So that feeling of sadness and remorse, about our own behavior is also forgiven. It's released when we forgive ourselves. So forgiveness starts always by forgiving first self. What is the law of forgiveness? It states that you will not be forgiven of your transgression unless you're willing to forgive others for that. If I have any dirt inside myself, so what happens? First, I learn to forgive myself. When I learn to forgive myself, then I forgive others. If you do not forgive others, your inside dirt will not be released. You have to release it, and forgiveness is such a high energy, is a very great tool which helps us to clean ourselves from the internal, जिसको हम मन कहते हैं, from a consciousness. Now, the three aspects of forgiveness. Now, there are three aspects. First is what? Exoneration, freeing him from the guilt or blame. So these are the things, what happens when we are learning to forgive. When we learn to forgive ourselves and others, we are freeing from guilt or blame. We are always in the mode of blame games, of judgment. So when we forgive ourselves and others, we are releasing and freeing ourselves from guilt and blame. Now, this is firebrand. This is not actually, you can say it is forbearance. I think there's a typing problem. Forbearance, that means we have the patience, we have the control, how to bear the difficult situations very gracefully. Very gracefully we are in, if we use this tool of forgiveness. Then when we use this tool of forgiveness, we release, we let go. We cannot let go if we do not forgive ourselves and others. We have to forgive. So these are the three ways by forgiveness we free ourselves from guilt and blame. We have the tolerance power. We can bear it. We can control it very beautifully and gracefully. And then we can let go. So it says that these are the three ways. Forgiveness, is it an act of God? The next slide says, is forgiveness an act of God? Is forgiveness an act of God? बड़ी बार सुना है ना, जिते क्षमा थे आप, means forgiveness is God. Forgiveness is an act of love. So in one of these tools, we have done the love in the beginning also. That means forgiving is actually love, is an act of God. So, and God is love. If forgiveness is love, so we say God is love. That means forgiveness is also God. Forgiveness is a virtue of God. It's a virtue. God is a package of forgiveness. So when you start learning to forgive others and forgive yourself, you're actually triggering the virtue of God. And it says forgiving is God. Now forgiveness is God. According to the Bani, it says, Jithe khimma te aap. Khimma kita samjho, you have triggered God. You have become God. Where there is energy of forgiveness, there is God. Very, very clear on this concept of forgiveness. I mean, it's such a beautiful tool, very, very powerful. That is why I say that this forgiveness can actually, it frees us from the negativity. This forgiveness is such a high power of positive energy that it dilutes or eradicates our negative karmas also. So now we come to the benefits of forgiveness. What are the benefits? When we know the benefits, and we know when we do not forget, what happens? We become very ill. We are mentally sick. Now, what are the benefits of forgiveness? Is that it can reap huge rewards. When we forgive, there are a lot of rewards that we get. What is the first? Your health. When you learn to forgive, your health becomes beautiful. Experience and see. You must be all, because you people are practicing on forgiveness from a very long time. Your health always in Charadigla. Lowering risk of heart attacks. These are experiences and experiments done by doctors. When people are near the deathbeds and all, they tell them, learn to forgive. Forgive the people. Forgive yourself. Do not live in guilt. So it also lowers the heart attack. Improving cholesterol levels, very important. It's just not reading and learning. Experience it, experiment and just learn to forgive yourself and others. You will see that many of your metabolisms and all are going to be very beautifully in line. It will be very healthy. All your organs are going to be very healthy. Your chemistry, you can say your chemicals that are being excreted also, they will be on a very beautiful balance. Sleep will be very good. Learn and learn and learn that you have to learn to forgive yourself and learn to forgive others. We may forgive someone else, but we never learn to forgive ourselves because we do not know why we have to forgive ourselves. Because it starts from us. Whatever is coming to us, whatever triggers are coming, whatever correspondence are coming to us, the cause is me. So when we learn to first forgive ourselves, your first sleep is going to be very good. They say that reducing pain. When we have little pain in the body, so we say that these pains are all outbursts of angers, all of bitterness. Jitne bhi pains body mein, they're all bitter. These are all anger issues showing. So when you learn to forgive others and forgive yourself, you are reducing the pain. Blood pressure becomes normal. Anxiety level goes down. And you will see depression. People in depression, they're all holding on to old memories. They do not let go. And then there is stress level. Stress, everyone, and people think it is a very normal thing of having stress. But no, it is not. It is abnormal having stress. Because when there is anxiety and stress, then this only becomes into depression. So it cannot be normal. So when you learn to forgive others or learn to forgive yourself, these are the things that you're going to benefit. Your health, your mental health, heart attacks, your cholesterol level goes beautifully balanced, your sleep is beautiful, you reduces all your pains, your blood pressure, anxiety, depression, and stress. So who will not want this? Definitely everyone wants that happiness and peace and a healthy body and a mind. So learn to forgive and ask for forgiveness. Now, what are the 4 stages of forgiveness? What are the 4 stages of forgiveness? First thing, we are hurt. When we are hurt, learn to identify that feeling that you are going through. Identify it. Yes, it is hurt. It's turning into bitterness. It's turning into anger. Then express it and label that. Then you will label and see, oh, because usually when you are hurt, you start hating the person. Label it. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you are just controlling it. All these feelings are going inside. All these feelings are going inside. First and foremost, when you are going to forgive others or forgive yourself, these feelings are going to take place inside you. Experience all these things, identify them, label the hurt, label the hate, and you can see that you're just controlling it. When you have done all this, then you start healing. Because now your concepts are being very clear that if I forgive, I'm going to have a very healthy mind and a body. And if I don't give, this hurt is going to continue, this hate is going to continue and is going to destroy my body. Why? Because the charity starts at home. I have to first learn to forgive myself, release myself. So I start healing myself by forgiveness. So this forgiveness is just like an event, a process. Process is just not something happened and you forgive. First you feel it, you express it, you label it. And then you will release it. And then you will let go. And then you will forgive yourself. And so this is a process. Now, next comes forgiveness. What is the key elements of forgiveness? What is the key elements of forgiveness? We should be adapting all these things. That what is forgiveness and why does it matter? What does it matter? You have to be forgiven. These are all the knowledge. I told you before, these tools and all, the first thing is the knowledge that you have to take. Today we are imparting and sharing knowledge because this knowledge only inspires us and tells us, this is all telling us what are the benefits, हमारे शरीर को कौन कौन सा नुकसान भी देता है, from where does it start, what is forgiveness. This is all that we are taking the knowledge. When we take this knowledge, then we will see what forgiveness is and why it matters. Then before we forgive, we have to be fit. We have to be fit. How? We have to have that knowledge. We have to face these challenges. You have to be absolutely fit when you start. Then you have to address your inner pain. You have to address the inner pain. These are the ways, how step by step you go. Then you develop a forgiving mind. Now you're creating an empathy because the concepts have to be clear. So just forgiving is nothing. You have to be very alert and aware of why you are forgiving, what are the benefits of forgiving. So we are now developing. Now we have already labeled it. We know all the matters. We are becoming fit. We are now addressing our inner pain and we are creating an empathy. Then what is the meaning in your suffering? We are suffering. Why we are suffering? There should be a meaning. This is what knowledge tells us. You are suffering because of your own negative forces. You're not suffering because of others. You're suffering because of your own negative forces. So to release those negative forces, you have to use this tool of forgiveness. So what happens? These are the step by step. When forgiveness is hard, call upon other strength. Now, so it is very difficult. Many times we say, "नहीं जी, forgive करना बड़ा मुश्किल है." मैंने अपने आप को क्यों forgive करना? There's no need. Why should I forgive myself? And others are wrong. Why should I forgive myself? And if you say forgiving others also, why? They've done the wrong. They should be punished. So then at that time, call upon the other strengths. We have done all these sub-laws and all. First and foremost, glad all the knowledge. Collect your aspiration, wo jazba ko uthao, the first law, sub-law. Create the generosity inside you. Place the courage inside you. How you have to face it. You need courage. So collect all these strengths. Learn the power of acceptance. Let go all these powers. And then you start working on forgiveness. When you find that you're not able to, then collect all these sub-laws. Then you forgive yourself. Till now, we never knew that why should we forgive ourselves? Why? So then pick up this truth. We need the knowledge of first laws. We need knowledge. Without knowledge, we cannot. And what does the knowledge say? That what you sow, so shall you reap. So whatever triggers are coming in your life, you are the cause. You have to be blamed. The seeds are with you. The story started from you. So now, first learn to forgive yourself. So these are all step by step, which we people have to learn when we are going to do forgiveness. Now, is forgiveness a power? Is forgiveness a power? Yes, it is a very, very strong tool. It is a power. This power of forgiveness, when you create, then what happened? Last time we said, no, it is a bridge between the infinite and the finite. There's a bridge created. We have a connection with the oneness. So that means forgiveness, when we connect with the oneness, that means how powerful it will be. It frees from the control of the person who harmed. If someone has harmed me and I have forgiven that person and I forgive myself, it frees me. It breaks the change. It lets go. Then when we're learning to forgive or ask forgiveness, now what are we creating? Certain type of feelings inside us. Empathy, compassion for the one who hurt you. When you are forgiving yourself and the other, you will see that you're creating these feelings. This forgiveness only creates this feeling of empathy, compassion. For whom? For the person who has hurt you. So we say, no, कि किसी ने मेरे साथ कुछ कर दिया. It's very difficult to forgive that person. I cannot forgive that person and I hate the person. But when you learn to forgive yourself and the other, and concepts are very clear, you will see that you're creating slowly that energy of Forgiveness only creates this energy inside you of empathy and compassion for the person who hurt you. We say, no, love the other person. So when you learn to forgive and ask forgiveness, you create empathy and compassion. Forgiving does not mean forgetting the harm of the person. Very important. Many times people say that you have to forgive and forget. You cannot forget. You cannot forget. If you forget, that means somewhere you are mentally sick. You're losing your memory. So you cannot forget the person who has harmed you. So be very clear, forgiving does not mean forgetting. Now, I'll just give you an example. For example, some few years someone has harmed you and you are learning to forgive and forget. You're learning to forgive that person and you're asking for forgiveness. You cannot forget. Wo memories are there. But what energy that memory carries, that's very important. हम कहते हैं कि जी मैंने इसको forgive कर दिया, पर फिर याद आता है. जैसे जैसे time the thing pops up. When it pops up, check. जब वो memories आते हैं, does it sadden you? Does it bring in that bitterness into you? If it brings in the bitterness in you, that means that you have not forgiven. But if the memories come back, they pop up in your life, and you say, oh, this happened, but today, thanks to them, today, whatever has happened, it has helped me in my evolution. That memory carries a different energy. It is very, very important to understand this, because many people say that we cannot forget. So when it comes, please introspect, put a dialogue to yourself that these memories that come back, and which I've not forgotten, they come back. What energy is it carrying? Is it carrying a negative energy or is it carrying a positive energy? If that memory comes back and we say, oh, it brings back sadness again, it brings back bitterness again, that means we have not forgiven ourselves and the other person. We are under an illusion. But if that memory comes back and we remember and it says, oh, it's because of them today we are standing here. Because whatever we have sowed, we had reaped it. And this was a compensation for what it is. So today we remember it with a different positive energy. That means, yes, we have forgiven and we have forgiven ourselves and the other. This part is very, very necessary to understand. And please, if you do not understand, you can put up this question. Because many people say that we cannot. That is why that when we people are on the platform, when we people are practicing this and we are having these dialogues, when we are in the Zoom classes, we come up.
Goji, can you unmute yourself? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ mute ਤੇ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਹੋ.
If you come back, if for example, we people on the Zoom, when we share all our old memories, those old memories and all, how do we share it? We share it with a smile. We share it that whatever has happened, because we were the cause, it has helped us. Today, where we are standing because of all those old memories that we had of all those people who have hurt us. So we are remembering those old memories with a very beautiful positive energy. And this inspires us, brings us the aspiration, the jazba into us. Suddenly, so when we share it with you people are also inspired. The aspiration will come. Then you will also have the power. You will have the courage. Okay, then I can do it. So be very careful that this is a very important part of forgiveness. Now the next says forgiveness. The first to apologize is the bravest. The first to apologize. हम कहते हैं ना, पहले वो माफी मांगे, फिर मैं माफी मांगूंगा. What does it say? The first to apologize is the bravest, most courageous. The first to forgive is the strongest. And the first to forget is the happiest. Now, This is the forgiveness tool. Very, very important in all religion, in all aspects. Very high energy. Use this tool and you can dilute or eradicate your negative karmas, your negative energies. We come now to the next tool, that is generosity. What is generous? Generosity is what? When open-heartedly, very liberal, unselfish, is a kind of kindness. And this, what happens, is helps us for evolution. It helps us for evolution. So being generous means open-hearted, unselfishness, kindness. They all help us in our evolution. So this is also another beautiful sub-tool. What does generosity mean in spirituality? What does generosity mean in spirituality? It means giving others something extra. किसी को मैंने अगर कुछ देना, फॉर एग्जाम्पल 10 रुपए देने हैं, मैं 10 की जगह उसको 12 दे दें, because the due was 10, but I give beyond that. That is generosity. I give love, but I give flow with love. That is generosity. So open-hearted, liberal, unselfish act of kindness is something that we people have to use, because our par 10 diya is just a balance. We go beyond that. That is generosity. Then what is the universal law of generosity? The next slide. What is the universal law of generosity? This process of giving and receiving. Now, we know receiving and giving. Whatever you will give, you will get back. Whatever you sow, so you reap. These are all the laws. So what is the universal law of generosity? The process is giving and receiving. This is a very important part. And when you give, you receive in abundance. This is also a law. This is the power of generosity. That when you give, then only you receive. When you give, abundance flows into your life. In this way, the universal law of giving is very simple. If you want joy, you have to give joy first to others. If you want love, you have to give love. So what happened? First is the giving, and then is the receiving. When we give anything, if you are going to give hate, you're going to get hate. If you give love, you will get love. If you give joy, you will get joy. So what happens when you are in this mode of giving? Generosity means giving. But remember one thing, when you are giving, always there will be a mode of receiving also. This is how the vicious circle goes of giving and receiving. When there is giving and receiving, you are helping others also. You're helping others. Because when you are giving, then you are receiving. So from whom you are receiving, that person is also giving. I am giving it to you. You are receiving it. When you receive it, then you give. That means then you are also giving. You're teaching very silently. This is a vicious circle of giving and receiving. So it starts with generosity. So generous is also a very spiritual tool. It is a spiritual tool. Now, we come to the next slide. What does the next slide say? What are the 7 types of generosity? Types where we can say, yes, you are generous. The generous types are in thoughts. The first is your thoughts. You give beautiful. When we are healing, these are the thoughts. In our thoughts also, you can be very generous. In your words, when you're appreciating, you are using good language, your flowery language, mitha bol rahe ho. This is also generosity. Money and material, when you are helping the needies, then that is also what? That you are actually being very generous. Time. Many people say we don't have time. हमारे पास time ही नहीं है. हमारे पास time ही नहीं है. बच्चों के लिए भी time नहीं है. We don't have time. We are very busy. Give time. When we sit with the elders, This is also being generous. This is a type of generosity. Giving things, what you own, what you have. If you have money, you can be generous to helping others. Attention, love, protection, these are all different types of how you can be generous. So generosity doesn't mean generous. So you see, there are so many things in life. अगर आप आराम से बैठे भी हो, बड़े आराम से आप खाली सोच रहे हो, and in that way you're just sending a dialogue to someone, or you're just having an affirmation that the person is actually fine, बहुत बढ़िया है, very nice person. That also is a generosity. किसी से बात कर रहे हो और मिठा बोल रहे हो, that is also generosity. When you're imparting a knowledge in your word, that is also generosity. So generous are different ways. There's a different ways of how you can be generous. Next thing says, is generosity a spiritual gift? Is it a spiritual gift? Generosity is also translated as goodness. As goodness. So generosity is also being charitable and honorable. So for some, giving is also considered as a spiritual gift. So giving, generosity, goodness, charitable, all these are one package of generosity. And these are all the spiritual gifts. What do generosity say? What do scriptures say about generosity? What are the scriptures saying about generosity? Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. The next slide says that what do the scriptures say about generosity? Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. What you sow, so shall you reap. So whoever sows generosity, that means you're sowing the seed of generosity, the seed of kindness, the seed of good words, seeds of giving time to others, you will also reap. It is written epistle, it is actually again a misprint. Whoever sows generosity will also reap generosity. So generosity, already I've given you 7 times. Giving time to other people, giving money, giving clothes to the naked, giving your love, your attention, your care to the elders. These are all part of generosity. Whatever you will give, you are going to get it back. So the third says that whichever generosity you are going to give, this kindness, the goodness, be careful that you do not do it under any compulsion or reluctancy, because किसी ने मेरे को बोला तो मैंने कर दी, या मेरे पास है नहीं है पर मेरे को करना ही पड़ेगा. Do not do it under compulsion, because when you are putting this act of generosity or goodness to others, and you carry this energy of reluctantly or compulsion, the energy changes. The energy of generosity changes. So do not do any act or any goodness under compulsion or reluctantly. Now, what does the next slide say? What does the next slide say? What is religious generosity? What is religious generosity? Now, generosity is freely sharing with us. You are sharing with others all the gifts that you have. Whatever gift you have, even religion also says that you must learn to share with others whatever you have. For example, we can say it as in Hindi में हम कहते हैं ना दान करना. To share with someone, to give someone, some gifts to be given. So what is the दान that you give? आप मन का दान दे सकते हो, तन का दान दे सकते हो, और धन का दान. Money, your body, and your thoughts. These are the 3 things that you can give. This is a gift. Whatever you have. हो सकता है कि आपके पास पैसा हो, and you can very generosity with lot of without any compulsion, you can give these gifts to others. If you don't have money, but तंदुरुस्त है और आप हद से सेवा कर सकते हो, physical, so do it. Do this goodness act. और किसी को तन is weak, money is not there, but मन है, मन तो है ना, मन है. So मन से अगर we think good about others, we affirm good for others, we because मन में भी जो सोच आती है, it's an energy, and that energy is also going to be transmuted to other people, is going to go and going to travel to other people. ये भी एक सेवा है. If you have knowledge through your words, you just share it with others. This is also generosity. This is according to religion. Be generous about it and share and care with the people. And whenever you are actually being generous, actually imitating God, because God is too generous. The so-called God is very generous because He has given us this whole universe, this beautiful body. If you go and see the whole day, you see that there are so many things that we have got without us asking. This beautiful body, how generous He is. So when we are putting this act of generosity, of goodness, caring and sharing, we are actually imitating God. And when this generosity overflows, it's a blessing to the people. It's become, because the people say these are all blessings to us. If someone is helping me, maybe in words, in their thoughts, maybe in the material form, and they're helping me and they're being very generous to me, then you can see how the blessing starts. What will I say? These are all the blessings that I'm getting. So religious way of thinking of generosity is very, very important. Now we come on to the next slide. It says, what is the purest form of generosity? The purest form, attention. Purest form is attention. Now, why we say attention? When we are saying that we have generosity for others, we're giving them time, we're giving them money, we're giving them materialist things, we're giving words, we're giving the thoughts this way, but we forego our families. बड़ी बार हम लोग गुरुद्वारे मंदिरों में बैठ जाते हैं ना, and we show all good acts, the goodness acts. तो बड़ी बार कहते हैं घर को छोड़ के तो गुरुद्वारे मंदिरों में आ गए, पोछे भी लगा रहे हैं, बर्तन भी मांज रहे हैं, वहां पे दान पुण्य भी कर रहे हैं, पर हमारे घर के जो बुजुर्ग है वो ऐसे ही बैठे हुए हैं. Just imagine, they're waiting for their food. So the best generosity is attention when to our homes. घर गृहस्थी को छोड़ के, and you're doing an act there. For example, if I have some servants in the house, और मैं पुण्य दान बाहर करने जा रही हूँ, I'm going to do this goodness act. So we say goodness act starts from the house. First see that those maids and the servants and all, are you fulfilling their needs also? So attention to your own homes, to your families, your co-workers, acquaintance. So attention is very, very important. It starts from the home. From the home, your family, then co-workers, then your acquaintance and all. And then this shows generosity abundantly. You have to show abundantly. So they say that charity starts at home. It is very, very important for us to understand this. Now the next one, what does the next slide say? Which are the words that are connected, which are related to generosity? Goodness done is being generous. Hospitality means generous. Being kindness means generous. Unselfishness is generosity. Being charitable is generosity. Giving charity, generosity. You're having a beautiful heart full of love, generosity. Your mindfulness, high mindfulness, awakening, awareness is generosity. Open-handedness is generosity. These are all another way of generosity. Generous हम कहते हैं जी, हमने generous से बड़े अच्छे से उसको दे दिया, हमने पैसे दे दिए, जो उनको चाहिए था 10, हम उनको 20 दे, हम बड़े generous हैं. बस we only think to that part. But generous में भी और है. When you're kind to a person, it's generous. Hospitality means generous. Unselfish means generous. Having a beautiful heart is generous. You're doing goodness act, that is also generous. So generous has different aspects, of how to be generous. Now, what does the next slide say? The next is, what is the perfection of generosity? It is the spirit of responding to the world and giving what is needed at the appropriate time. That is the perfection of generosity. जिस लोग को जिस टाइम पे क्या चीज चाहिए उनको उस टाइम पे दे दो ना, that is a perfection. That is the perfection. जिसको जो चीज चाहिए, जिस समय चाहिए, that is called the perfection of generosity. वैसे ही देते रहे तो have no use. Perfection is that when the person needs it at that time. The next slide says, why is generosity powerful? Why is it powerful? Why should we use this tool? We use the tool of forgiveness now. How beautiful. What a beautiful health we have. Same thing in generosity. It reduces stress. It reduces stress. Supports one's physical health. When you use this tool, you will see your physical health becomes okay. Your stress reduces. Then it enhances one's sense of purpose. What is our dharma? What is the purpose of life? It enhances. It enhances. We come to know the dharma is what? How to be caring, sharing, and loving people. So it enhances our purpose of life. It enhances the sense of dharma in life. It fights against depression. It fights against depression. So it also shown to increase a healthy lifespan. It helps us physically and mentally. Just as forgiveness, so does also generosity, helps us physically and mentally to be very healthy. Now, what does the next slide say? The next slide says, what are the qualities of generosity? What are the qualities? Generous people do not wait for opportunities to create an act of generosity. They will not wait कि भाई कोई आएगा तो मैं करूंगा. No. The people who are generous, they find their way out. They will not wait. They will not wait for an opportunity. कोई opportunity आए तो मैं generous हूँ. That I should be generous. They do not wait. They seek their way. They seek the way. They know that some of the most needy people will never approach another individual. So what happens? People who are generous, they take the initiative. They take the initiative. People who are generous, they will never look for opportunities. They're not going search कोई opportunity आए तो मैं generous हूँ. वो अगर पैसों में नहीं तो वो बातों में generous हो जाएंगे. वो अपने thoughts में generous हो जाएंगे. वो caring and sharing and उसमें generous हो जाएंगे. They will not wait for opportunities. They are going to be generous throughout the day. Because now generosity concepts are becoming very clear. Generosity doesn't mean just giving someone more than that they are due. In money wise, generosity means kindness also. Generosity means with your thoughts. Generosity means with your words. Generosity by giving time to the elders. Generosity means giving your most time, attention is a very beautiful tool. Highest form of generosity is attention, giving your time to your family, to your colleagues, to your co-workers, to your children, to the home. This is also generosity. So we don't have to wait for opportunities to come. Kasi generous hogi. Asi generous pure din vich ho sa. Asi when we're looking after our house beautifully, giving our full attention. or we're giving a full attention to the children, or full attention to our spouses or to the in-laws, this is also generosity. So people who are generous do not wait for opportunities to come. They take the initiative, because there are many people who do not come, who are needy people do not usually come forward. So generous people have all these qualities. These are the qualities of a generous person. Then what does the next slide say? That what is the opposite of generosity? Miser. We have उसको ज्यादा ज्ञान तो नहीं हो जाएगा. मेरे पास कपड़े हैं, मैंने देने तो हैं, it doesn't fit me, but I don't need to give. Why should I give? I'll become thinner, then I'll become, or I'll become fat, then I'll. You see that miser, generosity is not there, because this is the opposite of generosity, is miser. So we become miser in every way. Even in our thoughts, even in our words, even in our time, we are misers. We do not give time. We say we have no time. So next time when we sit with the elders, we give time to the old people, or we give time to our children and all, mean that we are being generous. And when we say we have no time, that means we are become misers. This is the opposite of generosity. These are two tools which are very, very important. We have covered up all the aspects of generosity. The power of generosity, the power of forgiveness. This has to be used in life. If we use this in life, you will see abundance is going to flow into you. You are going to be freed from all the attachments. You're going to be freed from all those old memories that have been hovering over you and causing a lot of diseases inside. So these tools are where? These tools, the qualities are the ones that are already inside me. But we are not using it. But now we are going to use it because we've understood the power of these tools. So the whole day, if you see, whatever work you're doing, you are connected to the power of generosity. The whole day you will see triggers are going to come. Use the tool of forgiveness. It's going to heal you. It's going to give you a physical and a mental health. It's going to be beautiful. So if anyone have not been understood or any doubt, please come up with it. Anji Arvinder, you can carry the questions.
Hima and Daryadali, forgiveness and generosity. So very important tools. Yes, I'm sure we have a lot of questions based on it. Hanji Rajwanji. Unmute करो जी.
हाँ जी, आ रही मेरी? हाँ जी, आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ जी आ रही.
वाह जी, ਤੁਸੀਂ क्या forgiveness, generosity सारे टूल्स से समझाए. थोड़ा स्वाभिमान बढ़ेगा, चढ़दी कला ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹੋਗੇ. ਫਿਰ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਫੋਲੋ ਕੀਤਾ, ਹੁਕਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੋਇਆ? ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਫੀ ਦੇਖੋ, ਪ੍ਰਿਥਵੀਰਾਜ ਚੌਹਾਨ ਨੇ 13/11 ਮਾਫ ਕੀਤਾ, ਸਾਡੇ ਛਠੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਜਹਾਂਗੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕੀਤਾ, ਫਿਰ 10ਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਮਾਫ ਕੀਤਾ. ਹਾਂ, ਤੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਜਨਰਸ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਕਿਉਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ?
ਜੀ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ,
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫੇਵਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ. ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਕਲੀਫ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ
because they're unaware, they're ignorant, they do not know the power of forgiveness. ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ forgive ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, actually we are doing it for ourselves. ਅਸੀਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. ਅਗਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਮਾਫ ਥੋੜੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਭਾਈ ਉਹ ਸੁੱਕ ਗਿਆ. I am forgiving for myself, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੜਾ ਗੰਦ ਪਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ. I am carrying a lot of burden, and that burden is making me diseased. So when I am learning to forgive others or forgive myself, actually I'm releasing all that gand from my side. मैं अपने आप ਨੂੰ ਸਫਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ. ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸਫਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ evolution ਵੀ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ, ਮੈਂ ਸੁਚਾਰ ਵੀ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੀ. So I am very selfish. I am doing my forgiveness because I want my evolution. मैं सच्चार होना है, मैं truthful living ते जाना है, मैं अपने अंदर दा negativity तो मैंने eradicate करना है ताकि मैं बीमार ना हो जाऊं. यही करेंगे तो मैं बीमार हो जाऊं. कल बोलेंगे जी मेरे गोडे दर्द हैं, कल में मेरा ब्लड प्रेशर है, कल मेरी पिठ दर्द है, कल में फलान. ऐसे but यही रोला पाया. They say no, what are all these hurts inside? These pains in the body is what? These are all outbursts of anger and bitterness. ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਨ ਫॉरगिव ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਨਰੋਸਿਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ we are releasing
ਹੁਕਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਰੂਰ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁਕਮ? ਹੁਕਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਨਰਸ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਮਾਫੀ ਕਰਦਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਹੀ ਹੁਕਮ.
ਦੇਖੋ what happened, this law is for everyone. This is for everyone. For example, someone has learned forgiveness. उसने काम ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਹ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਦੀ, ਉਸਦਾ ਸਰੀਰ ਵੀ ਤੰਦਰੁਸਤ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਉਹ ਸਚਿਆਰ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. ਓਕੇ, ਬਟ the laws applies to me, but I am not forgiving. मैं अपने तौर ते बैठी हाँ, मैं अपने एक जज्बे ते बैठी हाँ कि I am that I am. अपनी ईगो ते बैठी हाँ. मेरे वास्ते एक ज्ञान सीप ही नहीं करता. लॉ ते चल रहा है, सीप नहीं करता. ते तोड़ा के मतलब कि फिर मैं दुखी नहीं होवांगी कि मेरा शरीर खराब नहीं होएगा. लॉ तो चलेगा ही, बट आई एम नॉट अवेयर. मैनू अवेयरनेस ही नहीं है. आई एम नॉट अवेयर कि मेरा मन सुता होया है. मैं अपनी खेड़ा खेड रही हूँ, उसी बिटरनेस, उसी एंगर, उसी रिवेंज विच खेड रही हूँ. बट लॉ तो चलेगा, मेरा शरीर तो बीमार पेगा, मेरा शरीर तो दर्दां ते होणगियां. लॉ तो चलेगा, बट यस आई एम नॉट aware of it. I'm ignorant about it. क्यों? कि मेरे अंदर हाली वो ईगो इतना प्रबल है कि मैं किसी नु बंदे नु बंदा ही नहीं समझती. Knowledge is not seeping inside me. This दिन मेरे अंदर भी knowledge seep करेगा और I'll understand कि मन इतनी दर्दां क्यों हो रही हैं. Why? Then only I will start working. Otherwise, I'm not going to work. अगर ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ अगर अगला बंदे ने माफ कर दिया, अगर अगले बंदे ने माफ कर दिता है, लॉ चले तो माफ कर दे, तेरा बॉडी तंदुरुस्त हो गया. अगर मैंने नहीं सीखा, मैं नहीं लर्न कर रही, मैं अपनी ईगो विच खेल रही हूं, लॉ चल रहा है, तू बीमार पैगी. लॉ इज वर्किंग ऑन बोथ द साइड्स. हाँ जी,
हाँ जी,
ओके बोली, थैंक यू.
हाँ जी, गॉड ब्लेस यू जी. हाँ जी,
हाँ जी, सुरजीत कौर जी, अनम्यूट करो जी.
तो जी मेरे 2 क्वेश्चंस में,
हाँ जी,
इसके क्वेश्चन है कि जनरसिटी, अबाउट जनरसिटी कि ਤੁਸੀਂ अगर ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁਣ ਲੋਕ ਲੰਗਰ ਲਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਸਭ ਗੁਰਪੁਰਬਾਂ ਤੇ, so that is also generosity, number 1. Number 2, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੀ generosity of power, ਉਹਦੇ ਥਰਡ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਸੀ ਕਿ forget ਵਾਲਾ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ forgive ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਚਲੋ ਇਹਨੇ ਜੋ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਰਮ ਕੀ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਸੀ, then slowly and slowly से वो भूल भी तो जाने हैं ना.
can you just your voice is breaking.
एक मिनट, is it okay now?
Yes, yes, yes.
हाँ जी, जब ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ forgive ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਉਹ ਐਕਟ with the time ਭੁੱਲ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਨਾ. forget naturally ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ
what happens, for example, I'm learning to forgive. Okay, I'm learning to forgive क्योंकि मेरे ऐसे एक emails आ रहे हैं, मनु दस रहे हैं again. For example, एक body pain ही है, ये भी एक email है, ये भी compensation है. मन दस रहे हैं कि भाई तेरे अंदर कोई negative है. Okay, now मैं अपने अंदर work करूँगी. I'll work on myself. And what will I work? I'll work that I have to learn to forgive and be generous in my action and all. Now, when I am working, I am creating a beautiful energy inside me. ਹੁਣ कुछ टाइम बाद देखो ना, I finished, एक चैप्टर खत्म, finished. but मेरे अंदर एक energy ते है, that forgiveness the energy शुरू हो गई. Now I'm always working every day. Every day triggers are going to come. I'm going to use these tools of generosity and forgiveness. I'm going to use every trigger. एक दिन में कितने आएंगे? Every trigger I'm using this forgiveness and generosity. That means मेरे अंदर दी generosity, the energy increase होती जा रही, power is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. So what will happen? कि slowly my power will increase, and then whenever दूसरे दिन भी कोई चीज trigger आएगी, without anything there'll be a smile on my face. There'll be a smile on my face, and I don't even need to forgive and ask for forgiveness. Why? Because मेरे अंदर the power of the giving, forgiving and generosity इतनी high हो जाती है, वो automation में चली जाती है कि automation में चली जाती है, because I'm realizing अरे ये तो मेरा ही कीता है, अरे ये तो मेरा ही कीता है. Acceptance becomes there. और जब acceptance आ जाती है, automation में भी मैं let go में चलती जाती है. You see how it works, but it only works when there is consistency. There is consistency, and then everything goes off. All the things you know, say, gille, let go, karde, all you are letting go. But any time when you're sitting, maybe after 2 years, 3 years, तुसी पुरानी गल को याद करोगे, आएगी, you will not forget, आ जाती है, पता नहीं किस पासे कोई चीज गल आ जाएगी. खाली ए ध्यान रखना है कि तेरा वापस चीज आई है मेमोरी, वो किरी एनर्जी कैरी कर रही है, कि वो मनु फिर सैडनेस में लेके जा रही है या मैं चढ़दी कला में लेके जा रही है. बस ए चीज का ध्यान देना पे और कुछ भी नहीं.
ओके,
That is why
ऐसे है कि कभी ना कभी याद आ जाएगी, लेकिन इन रूटीन वर्क ਅਸੀਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼
भूल जाते हैं. पर कभी आराम ਨਾਲ बैठो, साल 2 साल या 2 महीने 3 महीने बाद वो गल आंदी है. Be alert that memory saddens you या चढ़दी कला ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੀ है. But that is where you have to be.
एंड
हाँ जी.
सेकंड क्वेश्चन,
हाँ
वो जो
जी, हाँ जी, ਦੱਸੋ.
question थी लंगर वास्ते कि जो है ਅਸੀਂ लंगर लगाने आ
Yes.
गुरपुरब है, ਅਸੀਂ नगर कीर्तन है, so that is also a generosity or not?
No, you tell me one thing. When you are giving food, ਅਸੀਂ ਰੱਜਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ generosity is when you give something to someone more than they are due. More than they are due. ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਲੰਗਰ ਤੇ ਲਗਾ ਲਿੱਤੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਦਾਨ ਪੁੰਨ ਤੇ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਦਾਨ ਪੁੰਨ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਪੈਸੇ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਰੁਪਏ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਮੰਦਿਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਪਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਗਰੀਬ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਕਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਠਾਇਆ ਹੈ? ਕੈਲਕੂਲੇਟ ਐਂਡ ਸੀ, ਇੰਟਰੋਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ. ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗਰੀਬ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਠਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਬਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਰੁਪਏ ਦੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੋਰੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਬੋਰੀਆਂ ਆਟਾ ਦੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ. ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੌਕਰ ਕਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਦੇ 2 ਫੁਲਕੇ ਖਾ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਵੈਸੇ ਇਤਨਾ ਰੋਟੀ खाता है. I have seen people talking, इतना रोटी खाता है. गुरुद्वारे में जाके सी बोरी आटा दे देंगे. But the man who's working, everyone has their own appetite. Some have 2 chapati, some have 4 chapati, some have 6 chapati. That is their appetite. But ਅਸੀਂ ਗਿਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ. So where does the generosity go? Why are we going against these things? Yes, generosity is there when there are calamities and all, when people need medication, when people need shelter, when people need food. Then that is a time when the need of the hour. ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ time ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ needs ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. That is generosity. That is kindness. ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਨਾ, ਆਪਣੇ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਰੁਪਏ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ, ਇਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਲੇਬਲ ਹੈ. I'm sorry to say. These are all labels. ਅੱਜ ਰਸਤਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੰਗਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਲੰਗਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ, mark my words and see, banners ਲੱਗੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. ਅੱਜ ਉਹਦੇ ਸਟਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਬਣਿਆ ਸੀ, ਅੱਜ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਟਾਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਬਣਿਆ ਸੀ, ਅੱਜ ਉਸਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਅੱਜ ਇਹ ਜਿੱਤ ਗਿਆ, ਅੱਜ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ. Please start, awaken up, ਜਾਗਰਤ ਹੋਵੋ. Stop it, stop it. ਕਿਸੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਕੋਲ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਨਾਲ 2 ਮਿੱਠੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰੋ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣੋ. ਇਹ ਵੀ generosity ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਵੀ kindness ਹੈ. This sharing and caring is also done. Today we people are sitting on the Zoom and sharing the knowledge. This is also work of kindness. This is also generosity. So generosity, जरा लोग बनाया ना कि लंगर लगा दो, खाना दे दो. This is not generosity. This is flaunting the money. Anji.
Nishkam, we don't do that. Hanji. Only by giving, you receive more than you already have. It's not how much you give, but how much love you put into when giving. On this lovely note, we end our 7th session this morning. Thank you all for joining in. Have a terrific Tuesday.
So be generous with your smile. Be generous, yes. It's not going to cost you anything, but how much of happiness it gives to you and to us. So be generous. This is also generosity. So I want all of you to be on the thing. Yes. All of you, Parminder, Jaswinder, Deepa, all of you, Nita, please come onto the screen. Be generous with your smile. Please be generous with your smile. Yes, yes, Nita, I can see the smile. Yes, yes, Harpreet, I can see the smile. So please, all of you, be generous with your smile. This is generosity. This is caring. This is loving. So keep the smile on and be generous with whomever you meet. And let's meet tomorrow at 5:30 sharp. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.